So, yeah, it's still in 82. So with Sidney Cooke, you know, to say he was evil was an understatement. That man was pure he was just pure evil. He really, really was. He was, the more he hurt you, the more he got off on it. And, you know, to the point that what we used to do as well in freeways, so people have heard of the Hunger Games. Okay, so basically what we would have to do, we had a minibus, a blue transit minibus, and they would get either 6, 8, or a maximum of about 10 boys and girls. So they would take us from freeways, which is 181 Old Froome Road, and they would take us down to a wooded area called Rainbow Woods, okay, which I now got told a couple of years ago is like a satanic place. It's like a weird wood, but it's called Rainbow Woods. So what they would do is we'd go in a minibus at night. Clive would always be driving, and it was horrible because it's like as we used to go up the lane into Rainbow Woods, it was dark and stuff, and he'd be driving and he'd be like swaying the van, so you're in the back, you're falling like you're falling around like all over the place, sort of thing, or coming off your seat. Him and Beecham and Sidney Cooke would be laughing. You know, and they'd be like playing their like, you know, stuff like Shakin' Stevens. There was shit you don't forget, like, you know what I mean? They'd be playing the Shakin' Stevens shit really, really loud. Then as we got into the lane, we'd have to get undressed. And this would be about, in the winter, would be about 7, 8 o'clock. In the summer, be about 9 or 10 o'clock as it got dark. But it was always darker in the winter and always colder. So when it stops, you'd have to be stripped off naked, okay? And you'd have nothing on, like, so you're completely naked. You've got no shoes, socks, you're completely naked. And then he'd open the side door and say you got 10 seconds. If you can get away, you will get away. And obviously they lied because there was no 10 seconds. It was like 4 or 5 seconds, which if it was just as you got out of the van, so you got like a wooded area, which is huge. Our job was to get out and we had to start running, but we had to go in different directions. And what the staff done then was put men, like whoever paid, they used to be lying in wait for us. And so what they would do then is, as you ran past the bush sort of thing, they'd get you. They'd kind of come out and they always kind of like basically went into your stomach, like. What
do you mean?
Yeah,
they grabbed you.
Yeah. Then they pull you down into the bush or wherever they were, and how far you got, and then you could have like 2 or 3 men that would take it in turns, just in the back at you, just literally, just going to town on us, absolutely. And what you get then with Sidney Cooke and Beecham used to put like a tie around your neck. So on one occasion I had an old man me, and he had me held on the side and he was pulling me into him, and Sidney Cooke had a tie around my throat and he was trying to pull me like tug of war sort of thing. And to a point that you know, a kid died doing it. A kid got killed. They literally fucking killed him
by doing that.
Yeah. Just literally, they were that bad. You know, it was that evil. It was Hunger Games. You get out, you were chased down, you were grabbed, you were severely, heavily in undergrowth, okay? And, you know, you got 3 men, you got 4 men, and they're ripping you around. They're ripping you left, right and centre. You haven't got a hope in hell, okay? This could go on for an hour, it could go on for 2 hours. To me, it felt like all night. It felt like it was never going to end. A lot of the time, with the suffocation and the strangulation, you'd pass out. You would literally pass out. You had, you know, and you know, when it all finished, sort of thing, you were taken back to the van, just slung like cattle, like you would a dead deer in a van. You were just took back in, but it didn't stop there. So then you were driven back to freeways. Then, of course, because you're filthy, dirty, you're covered in semen, you're bleeding, you then had to go back through the bathhouse. And then you'd get in the, you enter in the bathhouse, and Clive had got out of the van, running, strips off, and he's naked in the bath. And he used to just think, oh, not a fucking again. then you'd have to get in with Clive. He'd you. Then, you know, Beecham then would be pushing your head under, or he. Oh, that's fucking wrong. That was what we went through, and we were kids. And this is still, you know, I had this from 1982 to 1986. I spent 4.5 years in that place. But then again, with Freeways, we used to have a barn, okay? And we had another member of staff called Ken Watkins. He was fucking, I'm sorry for the language, because
no. I think you deserve, the language is absolutely fitting, you know,
I do apologise, because people
absolutely
watching.
You know, say it raw,
there
you know.
There was a guy called Ken Watkins. He came from Bath, and Peas down St John. The reason I know, because the police told me. And he was a member of staff, but he always worked nights. And what he would do was, we would go in, he would get us out of our dormitories. We'd have to go into the barn, and there'd be men in there in the barn. They'd be drinking, and it always smelt like horrible of cigars. It was a vile. And these were like just horrible men, like really, really horrible, to the point that one of them was a judge, who I'll go to that in a minute. And so, you know, you had, like, what it would do then, they would put, you have to hold your hands out, or hold them up, so they tie your hands with a rope, tie your feet, but around the waist, so the rope come down for the middle, he'd then tie you up over a beam, so they pulled it, so your body went in like that, so they could do that to your body, which meant the paedophile could go deeper into your back passage. Or what he used to like doing as well was tying both your feet together, but having so your legs were like a V, then he'd tie us up and dangle us down, like whip our feet with rulers or bits of wood, or burn them with a blowtorch, then open your legs and like rape us. That's what I said to you about my life, you know, when I said to you, you know.
This is just like, I've never heard anything like this.
If you was to make a film about it, it was like Saul, Hostel, and whatever you else you want to put on a good day. You know, they're like a U to me. I don't watch horror films. I don't like them.
This makes Pulp Fiction look like Bambi, doesn't it?
I suppose it does. I've never even seen.
Well, no, I mean, there's obviously one scene in that you know there's a scene, but this is just like
we were.
Was then? I mean, surely kids must have just wanted to like take their own life.
Yeah, but they not? Did. Yeah,
did they? Some did.
Yeah, some just, you know, slit their wrists.
Did they?
Yeah, and you know. What was hard was, what I didn't like was, like, you'll get kids that come in, and you know, you didn't really get to see them for long because they were never there. They got taken off to either Longleat House, which was where Lord Bath lived, and I'll give you a couple of people who used to come to. We used to have a guy called Bishop Bowles. He was like the, I don't know, chief of the church. Peter Bowles, his name was, Bishop Bowles. He's dead now, good place for the bastard. And he used to come with a guy called Lord Bath, who owned Longleat House and like the land around Longleat, but he owned our place. So they would also come into Freeways. But those two would always always be in the barn as well with Ken Watkins, but they were really pally with Sidney Cooke.
Right.
Yeah, they were really pally with Uncle Sid. Like, you know, if Uncle Sid was about, he'd come with a couple of men.
From the church?
Yeah, but it was always Bishop Bowles.
Yeah.
Like, he'd always be there. And, you know, some of, like, Bishop Bowles' friends. The Uncle Sid had good mates, didn't he? He had Jimmy Savile, you know. But I only saw Jimmy Savile in Rainbow Woods. I never saw him at Freeways.
Right, okay.
You know, I know you've been at Freeways because I see him come in now and again. But I was never in his present.
But he was f***ing kids at Rainbow Woods, Jimmy.
Jimmy was, yeah. Yeah, he'd been there with Bishop Bowles, because that's all I remembered. When I started seeing Bishop Bowles in the barn, I see his face at Rainbow Woods as well. That, you know, when we...
But you didn't have any... He didn't try with you, Jimmy Savile?
No, but he was at Rainbow Woods.
Right.
You know, I'd seen him at Rainbow Woods.